Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Malaika Bowei, and with me here is my lovely husband. His name is Pastor Bowei. In the last episode, we talked about how we met, and in this episode, we're talking about how he proposed and our wedding. It's about 10 years wedding anniversary, and we are talking about everything from the beginning to the end. Fine word. How far now?
Good evening and welcome to this second episode. I think the first one was awesome. We got a lot of reviews. So sit back and prepare. This one will be something else. We hope you're learning.
There's going to be basketballs in this one. Okay, so in the last gist, I told you how I bought a car with the issue of blood. That car you fix, you drive, you fix, you drive. And of course, Pastor was driving it. And then that was how we kept going. And you know, after we met, I got a job, right? When the relationship had kicked off. We kicked off this relationship when that was in March, right? After some time, right, this guy decided he want to propose. Hi, men and brethren, if you see how this guy proposed to me, you will pity me. If it was you that they proposed to, the way they proposed to me, you will say no. So one day, let me gist it, because you know this guy has a way of coloring things. He has color to his gist. This guy came to me. I leave the number name for them in Chim Avenue. Said he was going to come and visit. I said, no problem. That day it was around 5, right? NEPA take lights. We no get gen. Of course, we've never had generator. Once they put light, now you open the windows, put your lantern or your fluorescent. So he comes to visit, and then we are talking, we are gisting, you know, from parlor, we go outside, from outside we come back to the parlor. So there was no light. I think the lantern had an issue, and there was no kerosene in the lantern. So this is me and this guy sitting on a chair in our house, my family house. He had one hopeless Nokia. Was a Nokia that was blue screen.
Blue screen, okay.
I don't remember it, but this Nokia that has blue screen, you know, tiny Nokia. And then he says, he likes to talk. This was how we were sitting down. Then he likes to talk to me, you know. He starts going round and round. Go kiri kiri. Starts going round and round and round and round. And then he says, you know, now there's no light, you know, it's just small rays of light coming from neighbor's house as we no get gen. He put on the phone, small Nokia touch phone. It's the lights. And then he put on the lights like this. And that was me and this guy. So there's a torch over my head so he can see my face. And he said, you know, he's going to be big in this life, and he has plans for his life, and all the many fine things. This was how torch was on top of my head. In fact, I think it's even phone screen like this. So me, I was just, you know, listening, that he's going to be big in this life, that he wants a woman as strong as his mother to be by his side. Meanwhile, my heart was already doing me tinning, like I'm like, it looks like this guy wants to say something. Then when he finished, he says, you know, I just want to ask you, will you marry me? Hello, excuse me. I said, eh? He says, yes, will you marry me? I said, well, you know, PCJ, they taught us well. The way they taught us in Dominion City there, you can't just be rushing into, be feeling like, you take it slowly.
Rules of engagement.
Rules of engagement now. You can't be doing, your body is shaking like, yes. If you do like this, no. Meanwhile, there was no ring. There was nobody in the parlor. It's just me and this guy. With Nokia phone touch, the blue screen and the lights on my face. And this guy says, will you marry me? So in my heart I was bubbling. I was just dancing inside my heart, but I just maintained, you know, just maintain my coolness, my calmness. So I was like, okay, I heard what you say. It's okay. I'll think about it. Let me think and pray about it. I'll give you an answer soon, but let me just, you know, Pastor said we need to pray about this. Let me pray about this, and I'll get back to you. Meanwhile, inside my heart, I've already said yes like 1,000 times. I just need to maintain now. How can it be like I'm in a rush, you know? So, but you know, my shock was Before then, I told him my mother was sick, and then she was ill, and then she died. I did not have space for, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiancé. If I didn't have space for man, and I was not thinking of man at all, I won't lie to you, I wasn't thinking of relationship. But this guy just came around, and then we were just playing, and and then he popped the question. I already liked him then, yeah, so it was an easy thing for me. So imagine coming out from tragedy, trying to just get myself, and there's this guy around me, and he proposes me. Me, I know they get legit for long things. Anyways, I said to him, okay, well, no problem, let me think about it. And I know his heart will be beating. But let me gist you something. Before this proposal, then that was when we had MTN midnight calls. As Organo gets money like this, you understand? He couldn't come in the daytime. So he can load 100 naira and wait for 12 midnight so he can call. And we talk from 12 to 4. Then one day I said to myself, let it not be that I senior this guy like this. So let it not be that this guy is 20. Me, I'm 24. So let me ask. So I asked him, sorry, but I'd like to ask you a question. How old are you? Come and see jam question. He went, I have a very big heart. I have a very big future. I said, my brother, how old are you? He went round, I matured. In fact, I should have gotten married 2 years ago. But, Lola broke my heart. I said, I understand. How old are you? It's a question. It's a question. He said, my future is bright. I have a very powerful future. I'm going to build businesses. I'm going to be a very big pastor. I'm going to have a large congregation. I'm going to be powerful. I said, cool. I understand this your future. It's present one I'm asking you. How old are you? Said, well, should I tell them what you said? He doesn't want me to tell his age.
I finally told her.
Well, he told me, he told me, right? He told me his age. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I finally did so, and we ended that day not still getting any answer because she had to think about it. Also run it by, her pastor, who is my pastor also, PCJ at the time. So that was the first point of proposal because I don't believe in wasting time.
This was 6 months, so we started in March.
First talk to her
and September, yes.
Once you see what you want, you say it so that you can start planning for the future, not just because you want to just be hanging around. No, you say what you want. She says yes or she says no, so you won't waste each other's time. That's how I operate. That's why when I talk to people, that's why the other persons I talked to, they said to me, one said I was not serious, one said I was a small
I don't want to call their name.
Because I say it the way I don't have to. It's nice. If you can propose in a cinema, in church, in the stadium, it's beautiful. But I was not a fan of all those things. I believe if I needed something.
But you don't have money then.
Yes, even if I did, but you know me. If I need to do something, do it. She either says yes or she says no. So that day, ended and we left until we got the right answer.
No, see what I did. Cool down now. Let me tell you what I did. I took about a week or two. In that 1 week, it was like a long wait. In my head, look, I've already said yes, but let it not come and be like, I'm rushing, So he left. And when this guy left, there's this song, I think it's Darwin Hobbs. God is able to do just what he says he will do. I put that song on repeat and I danced my life out. Imagine me coming from grief, not having boyfriend, not even having space for anything, to just meeting a guy and the next thing the guy wants to marry me and I like the guy is fine. Me, I like fine boys. I cannot deal with brethren who are not fine. See, we are all beautifully and wonderfully made, but everybody cannot be beautiful and handsome to you. Me, I have my spec, you see. Look at what I chose now. Look at, can you see? See Afro.
The grace of God.
See Odogu Malay.
There was no Afro that time. The hair was quite low.
Yeah, the hair was low then. So I took some time and then 1 week later or so, he came back to the house and then we were talking. I said, well, for your answer, for what you asked me before, the answer is yes. Come on, see, man of God. Man of God opened teeth. You need to see the teeth was like this. His heart was, but he doesn't know that the thing they sweet me past, but you know, I got to maintain. As a sharp 042 girl like me, I got to maintain. But he was so happy, you know, so we hugged, and then my brothers were around. So he came to the parlor and then said to my brothers, a question, how did you say it? A question has been asked, and then she has answered me, and the answer is yes. Just like that to my brothers. And then my brother was like, NBA, what's up? Okay, you know now. And that was how they proposed. But my dear brethren, I did not have ring. It's only mouth-to-mouth proposal that they proposed to me. No ring, no nothing, Abi.
You must also learn to make do with what you have. You know, you see this thing about stress. It's part of one of the greatest lines or stories you learn from what we are trying to share is basically the fact that you don't need the whole world to be happy. You don't need to have everything to do what is in your heart to do. Yes, the proposal was made, she agreed, but like she said, there was no ring, not because we didn't want to buy a ring, but I didn't have money to buy a ring. So I won't be waiting to get money for a ring and keeping somebody. What if somebody else comes that has a ring and has the same talk like me and take her away? So at that point, I said what I said, and she gave me the answer, and we had to now start planning for ring.
Yes, we planned for ring. Anyway, so after that, you know, Oga was like making small, 5K, 10K here. And then I said to him, look, I am particular about my jewelry. I'm particular about the rings and the watches and stuff I wear. So, Biko, don't go and buy me any mumu ring. So, we'll go somewhere where they sell rings. I will sit down, select the ring that I like. Then, you can take the ring and go. Whenever it now suits you to now pop the question officially with a ring, you can do it. But please, don't go and buy me any kind of ring, you know?
Did you get that now? So you see that understanding your spouse or the person you're going to marry is one very great key that works, because people get to do things and they don't understand anything. She is not someone that is...
I don't like surprises.
Like surprises. No. Our own is, yes, you want to buy me a car. The fact that you planned or thought about buying me a car is already a surprise to her. That you had it in mind to want to do that. Then now, you have to ask her, what car do you want? And go with her to get it. So you see, so we have to agree, and particularly with my jewelry, ring, chains, and all those other things. So when it's time, we will go, we will select the ring, and I will take it. So the next surprise is now she not knowing the day I will do it.
That the man of God shall appear.
And not knowing the ring. The ring has been chosen, but the day that it will be done was now what she was not aware about.
Okay, so we bought the rings, and then he bought the ring, and then he took it, and then he disappeared.
How much?
It'd be like 3K.
Our engagement ring was 3,000.
It'd be like 4K.
Three or 4,000. What is the new heaven?
Yes, what in the new? There's this thing that sells sterling silver rings. Yes. So that's what we bought.
No, 2000.
It was yes.
2010.
We bought it, and then this guy took this ring and disappeared.
And kept it.
September I think it was on October so that we bought the ring. He did not bring out this ring. October, November, December, January, February. Even February, Valentine came and passed. He did not bring out this. Even me was now wondering like, what's up now? What's happening? What's going on here, man? 5 months, this ring have not come up. Now let me confess. One confession. I know you don't know about it, but let me confess. So one time like that, I traveled from Morifta. I come to visit, right? I come to visit his house. And I think he went to the bathroom to bathe or something, right? I moved from the parlor. Am I going to sharp 042 girl? I'm wondering, where is this ring? I hope this ring is still there. But you know, I cannot come and be asking. I cannot come and be showing that me, I'm worried. I have to maintain. So I did fear like that. I got into the room, climbed chair, you know, looked around. Of course, there were no properties. It was one of the rooms that had a bag. Property, you know, it's not like I was looking around. It was just his traveling bag that he came from youth service, one old eco-lac bag. So I said, last, this ring, this is where I know it would be. As Oga was baiting me, you know, I went to the other room and Fiam opened the bag, search. I see the ring. I opened the ring, I looked at it, I put it on my finger, wore it, and said, Kai, this guy should do and bring this ring out. Why is he hiding it? I looked at it like, this ring. So I quickly removed the ring again, placed it in the matter, covered it, put it in the bag, carried the bag again, up the wardrobe, ran to the parlor, sat down and crossed my leg and maintained. Come on, man. And then and then he came out.
And you see, I didn't know, but when you hear she came around, I think I got that house in December 2010.
Yes.
We got married to that house in May 2012. That's a year and 6 months.
Yes. Yeah, and 5 months.
She came to that house only
About 2 or 3 times.
2 times or 3 times in a year, in 18 months. Only 2 times or 3 times. So don't be thinking she was coming for where you know they see her.
No, that was because I was in Orif, that I was working, right? And then when I come back from Orif, I have a family house. Even though my mother and my father were dead, but in our family house, me and my 3 boys, I cannot come and leave my brothers in the house and say I went to a man's house. I cannot come and say that kind of thing. So
all of you that are learning these new things that you pack, you're a married man, you pack and go and live in this house. It's wrong.
So I'm always in my house. But every Sunday, you know, I come back every week. I come back every Saturday. I go back on Monday. But of course, on Sundays, him and Ogubunachi, they will still come and chop their Sunday rice because man of God, that to survive. Then I think it was somewhere in March, almost 6 months after we bought the ring, right? This guy decides he wants to propose. So we go to church. Finish church service. Him and Ogubunachi, they are always driving Ogubunachi's car. All right. So after church service, I say, maybe go Bishop house and let's go to Boy's house, right? Ugusachi is my friend, and yes, I can go to his house now because there's a third party. So me and Ugusachi and Pastor Bowei, 3 of us, we got into. After so we just went from church. I didn't know that him and Ugusachi had planned the proposal, right?
Okay, so we got to the car after we left church and we drove to my house in quote. Now, first of all, the reason for delaying the proposal set was that firstly, we bought a ring when I was still squatting. You cannot go and be proposing to somebody in another person's house. It's not correct. So I had to get my own house in December and also wait till, I felt it was the right time to do that. So we left from church and we came to my house. Don't forget, there was still nothing in that house. The bed was just on one corner.
Which bed? You are saying as if it's bed. It's foam,
mattress. Foam that was
on
the ground.
There was no wood.
It was on one
mattress
corner,
on the floor.
And there was a table and 2 chairs.
Plastic table
and 2 chairs that we got, from church. And we just got talking. I think I went in and also brought the ring. He did. And we finally got talking. From there, I popped the question. I don't know if I nailed. Did I do that? I think I did. I can't remember.
I don't remember whether you knelt down.
Yeah, but so I popped the question and she said yes. And she took the ring. And Gusachi was videoing. I was taking pictures.
There was a picture with our phone.
Both 4?
Yeah, both 3 or both 4.
I think both 3. So it was taking the pictures, and all. And I think that day I remember I was wearing a light pink shirt.
Yes.
Light pink, not the former orange now, but light pink shirt because we can't just go to church and dress anyhow. Whether we're a drummer or anything, we dress in corporate, sometimes I wear suit and tie. So that was how it was. We hugged. She hugged me. I think I carried her at one point on the chair. She sat down on my leg on the chair.
First of all, I prepare for you. What will be coming down? Now here is the picture of the proposal. Very fine big ring like that. I was just flashing teeth. You need to see. I was very tiny.
Cheap but beautiful.
Yes, it was. Flashing my big teeth like that. So they shook hands, we hugged, and that was how. There was no food. There was no drink.
There was no light.
There was nothing in the house.
In the afternoon.
So they don't propose finish. We don't just finish each other like 30 minutes, maybe 1 hour. We entered motor again, and then all of us left the house now.
Yes.
All of us went to
eat. Now the proposal is official, and we now have a wedding to plan in just a year time from that time where the engagement happened. So don't forget, I was in Enugu. She was living over 2 hours plus away after Nnewi. So from the moment that proposal was made, wedding plans kicked in. We didn't want to wait. It was 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So I was doing lots of the traveling because she was working. She could not be coming. So most times I go on Thursday after my midweek service. Then staying at boss's house, but she has a house also. And
at some point I finally got a house.
Rented a flat in the place. So I go, we discuss, we plan. If there's money, we take money together and we start buying stuff. So that's how also I became like she said, a sports analyst. So Thursday, I arrived. So Friday, Saturday morning, before we start traveling back to Enugu, I'm on radio doing the radio show with the team of guys that do it together. And that was how, in earnest, wedding plans began. But don't forget, I was the wedding planner. You need to learn some things from this form we're trying to give to you. Why? Because many men will not do what I did. She works morning to night, far away from Enugu. Wedding is in Enugu. I was freer because I didn't have a job. I was running my own business, even if it was not giving me all the money I wanted. So I knew I had the wedding to plan, and I didn't have many friends. She does not have friends, not even many friends. The only one or two that she had were busy people. So I knew I had the wedding to plan. And the way we work, me, I plan.
It's a book.
I plan by the book. So we had to sit down one day. I think we're on the wedding proper now.
Yes.
Sit down one day and get a list of every single thing that will be needed for the marriage.
But hold on. Don't jump into the wedding. Something happened. Right? Something happened. After the proposal, he said we are supposed to go and visit his parents.
Okay.
And of course, and then he said to me that my mother and my father cannot hear that I proposed to marry a girl outside though. That we have to, of course, they have lost the other ring, so that you have to buy a ring. Then two of us will travel, go and spend, I think it was 3 or 4 days in his parents' house so that, he can introduce me officially to his parents. And of course, they cannot hear that he has already given somebody a ring without letting them know. So while we were traveling, I removed the ring and put it in a bag and came with my hand like this. When we arrived, we talked, we greeted. That was where I saw for the first time that they kneel down to greet elders. Where I come from, I'm from Enugu State. We mommy good evening, daddy good evening, finish. But in their place, you have to kneel down. And if I'm Bakamara, I will not lie to you. I just didn't like it. Why should I? Each time I want to say something, I'm kneeling down. Every time I'm kneeling down. Every time, small thing, So we came back that day. We slept in the morning. As I said, Koide said, you kneel down while you greet me. I said, sorry, sir. So I knelt down on one leg and said, Koide. And he didn't answer. He was talking. And I wanted to say, Pastor Boy just held me like,
better stay there.
I'm like,
The answers.
So what happened? He said, just keep kneeling down there. So imagine me kneeling down. Now see culture clash, right? I'm kneeling down like in my heart. Answer now. I'm kneeling down. So he just went like, just stay like that. So his father was just talking. We were kneeling down. When he finished talking, he said, Seri. Then I stood up. In my heart like, is this what I'm coming to do? Every moment I'm kneeling down. If I finish kneeling down for daddy, I'll kneel down for mommy. Then kneel down for elder. In my heart, I'm like, But well, because we are trained, it wasn't much of an issue. So well, I shall kneel down. And then there comes, the proposal. So in the evening, after the next day, we all sat around. And then my father-in-law, he talks. In fact, if you leave him, he can talk from morning till night. Momsi is the one that will just keep his hands like that and just be nodding. Momsi is like, he's one that resembles Momsi.
I'm like my mother, she's like my father.
So, then Bobby was like, boy, don't go bring Igbo girl come this house. Igbo! And then daddy said, boy, you never bring girl come this house except Lolia. You don't say, now you don't bring girl come. I don't know who you bring come home. I don't know. May you tell us what to carry you come home. Say, mama, if you don't say your piggy don't bring girl come. You say, I see her more. And, the pidgin and the mannerisms that they have was too harsh. It was just too ras for me. But I didn't say anything.
From the East now, when you mix Warri, Delta, and Benin pidgin together, you can imagine how it is.
When they speak pidgin in that, you think that they are fighting. That's how they. You think that they are fighting. So me, I just kept quiet like, if I don't say anything, nobody will say I talk. So I just kept quiet and looking at all of them. Then pastor now stood up and was making
Speech.
oh yeah, give us speech, oh Jare.
No, I stood up and I started telling them that, like they said rightly, my house, because the way we are being trained, like she said, the first person I brought to my house, you don't bring a girl to the house unless you're ready to marry. You don't try that, not like the way we have our parents these days. You don't dare it. Any girl that comes to that house is not girlfriend, use marriage. And I brought one that didn't work. So this was the second time a lady was coming with me, to the house. And don't forget, like she said, I had to redo the proposal in front of them because I would have done it earlier. The reason why I proposed and did all the things I did in Enugu was first to get her. Secondly, there was still a little friction between me and my father because after youth service, he wanted me to come back home.
It's true.
I'm the first son. I've done ministry in school, so he's a pastor. They have a big school, like a family business. So he told me to come. I know because the Holy Spirit clearly told me, stay back in Enugu and I will meet your dreams. I will take care of you. I will train you. Stay with this man, your pastor, and everything will fall in place.
PCJ.
So I told him I'm not coming back. And it was war because he had already planned after service. My first son is coming back to join the business, to join the ministry. And also I didn't go. So he told me you are now on your own. So from 2009, 2010, the discussions were not much. How are you? Fine. Hope everything is fine. Even when I was sleeping in church, when I was squatting, I said everything is fine. When I did not have food, at that time my father is rich.
Rich, yes.
My father is not a poor. He's rich. I'm telling you, he's rich because I started driving car in GSS3 and it was Mercedes Benz. We had 3 Mercedes Benz in my house at that time. So there were cash I could have gone back home and be Bishop's PA or assistant pastor and be calling salary for my family, driving my father's car. But I didn't want to go back. So there was still a little friction and I wasn't really going home that much because I was busy in church. I was putting my whole life in what I was doing. So that's why I did that. But respect still shows you must take them back home. Take your wife back. And went for camp meeting. Don't forget. Easter camp meeting after program, we went back to Benin from Lagos. Because my family stays in Benin. So I stood up, I told them this. And I didn't say, I'm thinking, this is the girl I want to marry. That's how, I put it. And they know me. I don't make mistakes. When I make a decision, they know I have thought about it and I'm going to be correct about it.
Pastor Boy is a very deliberate person.
And I stand by it. And that was how it went. I might not put all that things together. So I think I gave her the ring also.
Yeah, so when he finished and then he now knelt down in front, I was sitting beside his mother. He now knelt down and then he brought out the ring and said, Malaika, Adora, Chukweke, will you marry me? And I was like, this is ring that I've been wearing. That I removed, I gave to him to give it back. I was like, I have to do face like that kind of thing. I can't come and be showing myself, be teary eye.
Do as if it's first time.
And in front of his mother, I was like, I don't be bending neck like this. And I said, yes, I'll marry you. Then he brought her the ring, so I did like this, and then they gave me the ring. Pop sister then holla, Bowei. His mother was like, Osawese. That was the first Bini. She says, and then she did like this, Osawese, I don't know what
all it means is thank you, God, the great King.
And then that was how the matter went.
But that proposal did not end well. We planned to stay for about 3 days and we left the next day. After 2 days.
You know what happened? So we finished that night. The next day.
We're eating at the dining.
Nice trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm on the dining. Pastor Boy is on the dining. His 2 younger brothers, the twins, are on the dining. Their last child, the sister, Glory, is on that dining. Then Popsy and Momsy plus Auntie Rose.
Yeah, my dad's younger sister.
8 of us on the dining. You know this kind of house. First of all, I had a shock. When you come, there are the people that cook every day. Me, we cook and we put in the fridge for 2 weeks. Their house is, what do we eat today? Egusi. They buy egusi, they make egusi, they eat the egusi, it finishes.
We are many. My house, you can
it
see
finishes.
12 persons in the house.
The next time, and all I kept seeing was pounded yam, pepper soup. These are not the kind of foods I'm used to, you know. Pounded yam, owo, starch, you know. The day I saw them eating starch, I was like, is this not starch that they used to starch clothes? Ah, no. I cannot eat it. But I did not come and do say in my heart, I was like, do you eat starch? No, ma, thank you. Let me eat Gary, thank you. My heart, I die here today if I chop this starch. You know. So we were still on the dining. Early morning, they had made food served, and then we were eating peacefully. Now, I need to sit well and give you this gist. Momsy is the one that doesn't talk. For these past 2 days, Popsy has been the one talking, asking questions. My mother-in-law will put her hand on her belly like this.
You're watching.
And then she'll be like, call the mama. Seri, my dear. You cannot tell what is in the mind of the. So in my heart, I'm like, oh God. God help me. I cannot come and start having issues with mother-in-law. I don't know what to do. You cannot tell. She's just staring at you. Mom, Popsy, at least with Popsy, you know what is in his mind. But Momsy will just be staring. So we sit on the diner and we're eating. And then Momsy said, thank you, everyone. You know, my pikin Bowei, you know, they bring a call house. But as he bring a call house, I know say this one a serious one. This house is a Christian family. I'm trying to speak like Momsy now. And I train my children, all my pikin. I look them well. I teach them the way of the Lord. And I train them well. So, you know, I'm eating and already the food is beginning to choke me. I don't know. I'm swallowing and I don't know.
Where are we going to?
I don't know where this is going from. I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it's going to. So, my pikin, Malaika Bowei, God's will, a rebel say, he know they carry girls, and he know they sleep with girls. He know they do bad thing. So I am very sure of my child, my son. I know say he know they carry girls. Already me, I'm saying to myself, I think I know what this guy is talking about. Pastor Boy has not told me, but he looks like this man is a virgin. Oh my God. I'm about to marry a virgin man. My God.
Added cap. Added advantage.
Which advantage?
Fresh guy.
Which advantage?
Chassis.
Chassis what?
Yes,
I beg shift. Who is doing chassis? All the bad things that you did, is it because you do not have sex with anybody? All the other small things that you are doing by that they did not know. You could have. Don't let me come and tell them in the camera. The things you did. What's all this? So Momsy just said, you know, my son. So when he now finished the statement, he now said, so Adora. The food that was in my mouth. I didn't know that I wanted to vomit it or swallow it. But I look up and say, Ma, he said, so I want to ask you, because I am sure of my son, I want to ask you, are you a virgin? Ha ha ha! Hey, I don't die today. This marriage has spoiled too.
In the beginning.
If I answer this question like this marriage, you are finished, you are spoiled. So I looked up and said, Ma? He said, are you a virgin? Then I thought, I looked at Pastor Boy back that is where you will know that I am married Odogu Malay. Because tell them what you said.
Well, that's why you need to learn a lesson from this place now. At all
serious
costs,
lessons.
Ladies or males, when you are about to marry somebody, you must learn to protect that person from your family. Once you're sure of that person, protect them from every form of assault or intimidation. So the moment my mother asked that question, ask her now, I banged that table. I know she will be shocked. My mother will be shocked. Table. I said, that question does not belong to you to ask. It's my question, and you don't need that answer. She was shocked. My father was looking at me.
Even me, I shocked. Oh, I know I was shocked.
I said, you don't ask that question. Me that want to marry, I know what I want to get married to, so forget about it. He was, I said, you don't. That's how that lunch, that breakfast ended.
You know that time when he finished, there was silence in heaven. That time everybody just bent down, the brothers, the auntie, the father, because Momsi wanted to protest, Popsi wanted to protest, and he said, no, don't ask her. It's my question. I know the answer, so leave it like that. So me, I just bent down like, Pastor was eating, me, I was eating, everybody was quiet. That was how we ate in silence. I think it was standing at Papa, go there, sir. I don't talk finish. I did go church, sir. Then he stood up. So maybe boss said, Sammy, they come out. They come with you, I beg first. Then he stood up. And that was how the table kept disappearing. Then me, I stood up. I went into the room and like, So how could I have started explaining to my mother-in-law that, I was raped,
Yeah.
I was raped the second time when I was 17. My neighbor raped me, they broke my jaw. I'm still going through, that was 5 years because this was 24. So this was 7 years ago. I was raped 7 years ago. Then raped, I think, a year after that. How do I begin to give all of this explanation? And so imagine, I know how it is. The stigma behind rape, the stigma behind, imagine if, I'm thinking it would have been easier for them to that I slept with somebody, like willingly went and slept down.
Yeah.
Because they say, like they raped you, you don't know the guy. Because the first guy I knew who he was, but the second person, it was in the night, I didn't know who it was. So how would the mother have treated like me, or believe like this guy here waiting, so he saved me from having to make all of those explanations and start talking
because
about.
I was already aware. She had told me everything about that. And also forget something too. All the years of our relationship till we got married, my family never knew she was asthmatic.
Yes, I was asthmatic then.
Never.
I was always sick. I was always like, will I survive? Would I not? So I was always in the hospital, hydrocortisone, inhaler, nebulizers, aminophylline injection.
And in my house, we don't fall sick. One. Number two, my mother's only surviving sister died of asthma. So she has a reservation towards that. So if I tell my mother, she was raped. Two, she's asthmatic. That wedding will never work.
Never.
I know my family will fight me stand still. Even though I know I can fight them. But you know how it goes now. You suddenly meet a girl, and you that has never fought your family, and you're not fighting them because of one girl, they'll say, she's the one that want to cause division to you and your first son. So you see the wisdom in it. You're in love with somebody, you want to marry somebody. She tells you stuff, or he tells you stuff about their past. If you can handle it, keep it. If you know your family people, keep it from them. My mother knew, I think 4 years into our marriage.
It was 4 years into our marriage that he saw
when
inhaler.
Jordan was born, my first son was born, and mistakenly she came to the house and she mistakenly kept the inhaler somewhere. And my mother saw it and was almost crying.
Say that
that is God my father. Oh God my father, I beg you. Like this thing, and nobody knew. I said, it's not your business to know. It's my wife. Did that tell you? Have you ever heard that she was in the hospital? Have you ever worried about anything? She said, no. I said, don't worry. So that is how I have been able to do that. But every man, one of the laws of loving your wife or helping your family is protect your wife. For family. And the truth is, after that event of asking her about her virginity and all, the meeting ended, the holiday ended. We left the next day. I told her, pack your bags. Daddy, mommy, we're leaving tomorrow morning. And they were shocked. And we left.
So we started the wedding plans. And because there was not much money, we started on time. Wedding was in May 12th. And we started preparing somewhere in 2011. I remember we had some small money. We went and bought a bag of rice. I think that bag of rice stayed almost 8 or 9 months.
About 9 months, yes.
About 9 months. This is the wedding we will use next year. We bought the bag of rice and bought tin tomatoes that had fire expiry date.
Let me make a statement. Now, guys, in case you're not that buoyant, you don't have all the money in the world, you're about to learn something very important. God has helped us. We can decide now to spend 10 million naira on a 2-hour wedding. And we'll be fine. And nothing will happen. We cannot do our wedding anywhere we want to do it. But you see, life is in stages. Don't kill yourself for wedding, not marriage. You don't have money to do a big wedding. Do the one you can. Or from when you agree to marry the person, start planning, if it's 7 months time or 8 months time, 9 months time. At that time, every 2,000 naira has a reason. So we sat down. We had a book. I think I'll find that book.
We had a book, yes.
I think I'll find it. You'll see the picture. So we wrote down everything from traditional marriage, the amount, the list, the amount, wedding hall, souvenirs, everything was well written. Wedding gown, shoe, suit, everything was written and put prices that we could know, or tentative prices. And like she said, we started working. So I had a 3-bedroom apartment. So we dedicated one of the rooms to buying stuff for wedding. So imagine rice.
What rice?
Spent almost 8 or 9 months. Everything we were buying, we were working with the expiry date.
Maggi, we bought thyme, we bought curry.
Everything.
And it was in that room for how many months? We bought groundnut oil.
Yes. So she makes about 100K that time. So she'll bring some. I will make my small 7,000. I will bring 35. When I get a smaller job of 30,000, we'll bring it. You get the point now. So she brings, I send my persons to go, and buy and bring them to the house, and I keep. So as we were doing that, I was ticking.
Yes.
So whenever she comes back, any weekend she comes, we look at the book again. This is done. This is done. This is done. This is done.
Meanwhile, marriage was still the next year.
In May 2012. So from March or April 2011, we started planning on it. So that is how we started doing it without money. Then at some point, January or so, 2012, 3 months to the wedding, I want to show you the role of spiritual authority when you are planning.
Money has finished. There was no money.
So
again,
she was, because I now do printing and branding and advertising and all, so I was able to get a small job with a company. I was working in Orifite branding.
And I gave you one small contract.
It's wisdom. If you are working someplace and
I gave him contract to print flyers for my office.
Flyers, ID cards, and all those other things for the company. So we got a little money. I think I got a profit that time was about 100,000 plus. I can't remember. We were driving back to Enugu. We got to Inewi main town. My pastor called, my mentor, who's her father, and said, "Yes, how are you guys?" They want to do something in church, and they needed some.
He kept that church, not even he kept that church.
It was in Lagos, because they had already transferred to Lagos. So, want to do this. What can you guys give? I don't know if he called a specific amount.
He said he's looking for 10 persons that would give me 100,000 each.
Yes.
I think they wanted to buy a generator
or something.
So how much can you give? And PCJ knows that we are planning wedding in about 4 months, Mm-hmm. So I said, we can give the 100,000 now. He said, okay, fine. God bless you.
I just collected the 100,000 as my profit from the job I just did to go and think of what to buy in that list to fix it.
So I just want that see what PCJ said though. What Pastor said, okay, let's give the 100,000 now. And that 100K was dear to our heart because that was all we had at that time. Mm-hmm. So I said,
when we went to the bank.
Yes,
there was no transfer app at that time and all. So when we driving to Enugu, we went to the bank and made that
collected transfer. That cash like that, yes. And paid the cash into the account and sent it to him. Now guess what? He didn't call. He sent a text. I would never forget that text. He sent a text and said, "Thank you very much. May men go out of their way to favor you. God bless you. Thank you." So I saw the message. I just held the phone and I said, "Amen. Amen." I showed Pastor, I said, "See the text that PCJ said." He looked at it and said, "Amen. Amen." Men and brethren, if you know what happened, right after that, we arrived in Enugu. Mm-hmm. I think it was that week as we arrived. My elder brother called and said, my uncle, we have an uncle that is like then was the richest in our village then. Those kind of people that used to have oil blocks that Babangida Abacha, gave them plenty money then. Very rich. My brother called and says, Ocha says they should give you 300,000. I did not believe it.
2012, 300,000.
300K.
30 million that time.
So that was why they gave us 300,000. I told Pastor, see you 300K. The next thing, my boss says, Malaika, I've sent you 100,000, my support for the wedding. My boss, and my salary then was 100K. If you might not tax and all of this, it comes out to 83,000. Yes. My boss sent me 100,000. Now hear the matter. Just before the Igbanku, my elder brother just said, how much is even the cooking? I don't know. okay, you know what, I'm just going to cook the whole food. And I think my brother paid for the food, the drinks, angara, osoji, everything for the igbanku. But when you say igbanku, it's not like igbanku. It was just small.
That's another lesson you should learn again. You cut your coat according to your cloth, like they say. You don't have millions. Do something. Do the right thing. Pay the bride price. Do the list. Gather a few family members, and that is wedding. You have to bring all the musicians in the world. And listen, if you have the money,
Do it.
do it. If you don't have it, don't borrow for wedding.
Finish.
Don't kill yourself for wedding. You finish getting married, you are owing debt, you can't pay anything. You don't do that. So he paid for every single thing. And we
The
were
traditional. You see my traditional marriage, I didn't have a shebi. I didn't particularly have friends. I had, I'm the kind of person that is everywhere. Everybody's my friend, I'm just everywhere. But I didn't have like besties or best friends of my party or my friend. I didn't have any.
The wedding was on Friday. She arrived from work
on Thursday
evening.
So on Friday, when the banquet was supposed to happen, as people we are going to my village in the south for the wedding, even me too, I was coming for the wedding. I shall not say all of us they come wedding. The only thing is just that I'm the one who is wedding inside, but people came on Friday. Me too, I came on Friday morning. Because my brother said he was going to pay, he gave the monies to my auntie. So they were cooking. I had no idea what they were cooking. I shall know that they are cooking food. And whatever they cook in the banquet, people will eat. So I did not bother. So I arrived. I did not have all this many change of clothes. So I wore my stuff. You won't believe it. I was inside gisting with my cousin. And then they came and told me that, Ndiogo have come, or your in-laws have arrived. I said, what am I supposed to do? And they said, go out and wave. So me, I was wearing full stop earrings. My cousin said, is this how you're going to look? I said, what am I supposed to do? He said, no now. So she came out, brought her chain, gave me, brought her big earring, gave me. They tied gele for me. I said, is it good like that? I was wearing slippers. So I said, what should I do? They said, go out and greet them. I said, okay, fine. So I came out. I said, well done, no, well done. Welcome, my in-laws, welcome. I'm asking, auntie, what else? He said, nothing, just wave. So I waved again. I said, Obuchago, is it finished? They said yes. I said, oh, thank you, welcome. Oh. I went in and then we continued our. We were just gisting other things. And I just keep seeing people moving up and down. So I said, what else? I said, I don't know. They were not paying bride price, all of the other things with my other brother outside. I was still gisting. They said, that they are finished paying bride price, and they want to go. We have to go and prepare for the wedding tomorrow. So I said, so what should I do? So yeah, come out and greet them. So I came out again. I said, welcome, well done. So now I said, our wife, we have now paid for you. You have to change to your clothes. They gave me clothes. I ran back to the room. And then the people, Momsi came, they tied me round and round, two material like that. Momsi gave me her long coral bead. And then they tied my gele. I came out again. I said, well done. So they prayed for us. Wedding has finished. Me, I did not eat. I did not drink. I saw some village people eating. My in-law said they have to go. Me too, I have to go. So we stopped, and took pictures. Okay, yeah, the pictures. We took pictures. I jumped into the car, followed them, boom. Back to you. All my kinsmen, all of them, they were still busy eating and cooking for themselves. Me, I've gone. I've satisfied all the things that they wanted. Yes.
At that time I was already a pastor. And so when sometimes I see a supposed Christian elder, pastor, church leader, and you go to your traditional marriage and it's filled and blasted with alcohol, I smile. You don't know who you are. Sorry to say, but you may not like this. They knew me. I was a pastor from day one. And I told the elder brother and the uncles and had to tell them, if I see one bottle of alcohol in that traditional wedding ground, the wedding is over. And she knew I was not joking, because I don't do alcohol for any reason. She knew I was not joking, and she told them, this guy, the year word. On that month, if I see one bottle of Star, wedding is cut off, it's ended that day. And when he knew that this guy, look like he's mad, ask her. Traditional wedding was malt, Coke, and Fanta. I told them, when we are done, I go. You cannot drink yourself to stupor. I'm not there. So they had their alcohol because I didn't buy it. We demonetized it.
Yeah,
I gave them the money, calculate all your costs for your cartons of beer and all. We gave them the money. They went to buy and kept it.
It was the backyard.
When this guy finish and goes, because the way this guy is small, so that's not the year one. So there was no single. So when I say, Pastor, we cannot do anything about it, you don't know what you are talking about. You don't actually. Maybe you drink, that's why. So, and it ended like that, and we finally left, and we heard the story. They finally,
they boost.
They finished them.
They finished
work.
themselves. Do you know how many crates of alcohol?
You know, but you won't see anything.
And the rest,
but there's something she jumped that we talked about. Now, on Wednesday before that traditional wedding, something happened. I went to her office to talk about final plans because I have to come back that Thursday, waiting for her to come back. And there was war in our land because of cloth. Never be caught in the middle of your mother and your wife as a man.
I'm telling you,
That fight. If you don't have the wisdom of God, you will be in trouble. So everything was going well. We had finished planning, and let me tell you the truth. Like I said to you, we did our wedding, both traditional wedding and church wedding and reception, without owing 50 kobo. We had money in our hand after the wedding. There was no stress of what I was owing. We paid for everything a week or 2 weeks or even 3 weeks before the wedding date. We're just waiting for the wedding date to reach. And of course, my parents, who have a little bit of ego, they don't agree that how can you do your first son? How can you finish all wedding plans? We have nothing to do. I said, we have paid for souvenir. We have paid for cooking, everything. My father came on Wednesday or Tuesday. And for what? No way. I want to buy cow. For what? My first son, a bishop. Come on, how can you, a German, I know it's a bishop. Bought cow. My mother said, no, they will cook. She came with boss of her women.
And women.
That's Gio's wife now. The women came, they cooked, you know, the hair, those other things. They wanted to do she brought her own souvenir. For what she wanted. Also, that Wednesday, my people. Because the program goes to end now. I'll show you two things about it.
Good.
So they're talking. My mother said, you're my first son. You are the job man. Your wife must tie 2 wrapper. That is the law in the John land. First son's wife, traditional wedding, must tie 2 wrapper. She's a media person. She's a broadcast media person.
Jeans and canvas.
They don't wear anything. It's jeans, canvas, face cap, polo. They go to their office. It's radio, not TV. And they don't have time for all these things. I said, Madam, Mama, this woman, I don't think in her life she has ever worn wrapper. You know the shopping, even in her mother's burial.
I wore jeans.
They wore white and white.
I wore white polo jeans, and jeans.
White polo and canvas. And canvas. All of them.
My mother's burial, white polo,
there
jeans,
was no burial cloth.
And canvas. That's what I want.
I said, Mommy, this thing will not work. He said, no, you have to talk to her. Watch her. I will go and meet her. You have to tie 2 wrapper. I'm the first son. No. I'm a 21st century girl. I'm a media person. I don't have power to tie wrapper. I'm carrying load, carrying big, carrying this thing. I'm going to wear a small blouse and a flea skirt with the material.
I will use the material so up and down.
Hold
skirt
on.
And blouse.
I will go back. Mommy, can you let this thing go? This thing is less than 3 hours. I don't care. I'm an Ijo woman, then I'm a bishop's wife. The father is coming. We are all tying wrapper. She must. Some will say no. Some will say yes. Some will say no. So they were not agreeing. Right? I told her I'm not marrying again. Like she cannot listen to me for just one day to obey my mother. Once the marriage ended, I told my mother, you don't want to let me rest a bit. So what I did, I took the car. Didn't tell her. I just drove her. I said I'm going back to Enugu. I didn't talk to my mother again. I took the car and I left Orifite in the Nnewi area. I started driving to Enugu. I switched off my phones. Somebody say wisdom.
Wisdom won't choke you.
Wisdom won't choke me. So I knew these are 2 men who love me so much from their hearts. Okay, let me disappear. So I switched off my phone. But you know Satan is very terrible when it comes to, you see it's about argument and fight in families. Be careful. It might be the reason why many of you, your prayers are not answered, things are not working. I left 20 minutes to Enugu town. Suddenly, my engine was on fire. Fire. I had to park. A few persons came, used their my own extinguisher did not work. Used their extinguisher to turn off the whole engine was burnt to ashes. I don't know what to call it. So I didn't even talk. I called mechanic to come and carry the car. I entered bus, went to my house, switched off my phone. When she tried to call me, because she knows I'm on the express, my mother knew I'm on the express. My number is not going. Nobody can get me on the phone. She can't get me. The 2 fighters became friends. Where's my son? Where's my husband?
I told myself like, Mama call you the Bishop don't call you. My pikin never call me. Oh, he don't call you. No, he never call me. Oh, Baba.
Exactly.
Baba. Oh.
Why? To tie wrapper, to wear native, now he calls it trouble.
To tie wrapper or not to tie wrapper?
Because it's very terrible. This is talking about culture clash, you know. So I don't know when they finally got me. Was it the next morning or that same night?
It was that same night we finally
turned off my phone in the night. And I told actually people want to kill me. You want to know? So they made peace, and that's what they now agreed. So if you watch the traditional wedding, the beginning, my wife came out with the short blouse and the native flay skirt. Then after,
I went back and now tie wrapper
with just that. To make everybody happy, you have to find, a middle ground. So that's how the traditional wedding went. It finally happened. Then the real day
just before the wedding, that my uncle, who I thought was rich, still called my brother and said, you know what? Send them another 150,000 naira. That was the night before the wedding.
Yes.
Now let me tell you some of the things I did, right? I got into Enugu that they went straight to make my hair. Some of you go and spend 25, 30, 40,000 making hair. It's the same hair, it's just that they turned it and put pin, put many flowers. They now call it bridal hair and charge you 25 to 40,000. Yeah. Me, I went to the salon like a normal day, carried my ribbon that I've washed and straightened, and told them, please, I want to do center parting. How much center parting? 1.5. I did my ordinary center parting. They straightened it out for me. And when I was about to go, I said, sister, tomorrow is my wedding day. It's my wedding hair. She was like, no. This is. I said, no, it's not bridal hair, just ordinary hair. And that was how I saved that money. Now, because I am not, I don't know how to design. I really don't know fashion. This guy, he beats me any time in fashion. I don't know fashion, right? So I don't also know how to, I've never had a birthday, I've never had a celebration in my life. So birthdays, weddings, all of this, I didn't know. So when it was time to prepare for the wedding, my darlings, I had no idea what I already finished buying what I need to buy. But to now arrange the wedding, I didn't know. That is where Pastor Bowei's two assistant pastors, because then he was already pastoring, Deki and Auntie Ma, were actually the two ladies who were serving pastor then. They were single. They were serving pastor then in the youth church. Do you believe that it was these two ladies that prepared my wedding? Me, I attended my wedding just the same way other persons attended. When they call me, Mama, what's the color of the day? I say, my dears, I don't know.
Don't choose any color.
Choose anything you like. So they says, let's do red and green like Christmas color. I said, anything you want to choose is fine. Okay, what kind of clothes? I said, I don't know. Anything you want to do. He said, but mine is your wedding. I said, but I don't know. And I really don't care what happens. The man said I will come and get married. Anyway, I said, look, I trust your judgment. Do. So these ladies, Deki and Auntie Ma, they chose the colors. They bought the materials. They chose the design. They are the one that rented a shady for me because I didn't have friends. So they went and rented other girls. Church, they got people from choir, got some Pastor Bowei's dear friends that was eyeing him, Some other girls. So they made 5 because Pastor Bowei had Pastor Nambi, had some other persons. So he had 5 guys. So we were looking for 5 girls for me so that we won't have 5 guys and no girl. So all of them lined themselves up and then volunteered to be bridesmaids for me. So they sold the clothes and that was it. On the morning, the only thing I know I looked at was the cake, which I paid 40K for. But you see the decoration, the colors, the arrangement, every other thing for the wedding, where people will sit, that was their business. I didn't go there, I didn't bother. Saturday morning, I woke up in the morning. I don't still understand why people go late for their wedding. I mean, you wake up in the morning, there's nothing else to do except your wedding. So why do you go late to church? I woke up by 6, bathed, 6:30, I wore my clothes, let down the hair that I made yesterday night, just brushed it down, put more powder and small eye pencil for me, wore slippers. I was ready to go. Then I called PCJ's wife, Pastor Ogu. I said, Mom, I'm ready. That was around 7. Wedding is 9 o'clock. She said, okay, fine. Who is making you up? She said, who is with you? I said, I don't understand, Mom. I'm at home. I said, yes, it is your wedding now. Your chief bridesmaid, who is with you? I said, nobody, Mom. I'm at home. I've worn my wedding gown. She said, no. No, that's not how it's done. I said, ma, but is there anything I'm supposed to do? He said, remove it. Take the wedding gown. Go to, I'm calling the church admin, Pastor Oni. Go to her house and tell her that I said she should make you up. I said, yes, ma. So I pick up my phone. Hello, Pastor Oni. Pastor Oki says I should come to your house. He said, Elia, start coming. That was how I carried my gown, carried slippers, and I arrived Pastor Oni's house. She said, okay, fine. So, okay, so where's your makeup? Where are your trinkets? I'm looking at her like,
That's trinket. What was that one?
Trinkets, I don't have. So she just bought her makeup, and then she started drawing eye pencil, she started rubbing me powder, put eyeshadow for me. When she finished, okay, where's your watch, your necklace, your head bead, you know, I said, I don't have. I don't know that they used to.
Where are those things?
Was okay, fine. So where's your shoe? I said, I did not buy shoe. Because all my man is just rent wedding gown, and I just rented wedding gown 12K in Onitsha. I went to Onitsha, found one wedding gown like that, rented my 12K wedding gown. I did not remember shoe, all of the accessories. I didn't remember all those things. She said, where is your shoe? I said, I don't have shoe. I said, hey, hi, now wow. So she finished making me up. She went to her own trinket box, brought out her hair packer. She did the hair like this for me, put it for me, brought out her chain. You see this, the chain I was wearing on the wedding gown? She put it on my neck. She put this one. But I wear size 39 and she wears 41. And there is no shoe. So what shall we do?
Have to wear a shoe.
So she brought her sandals that she wore for her wedding. That was how we wore these sandals that was 2 sizes bigger. If you see what I was wearing. And she has big leg. I wore it. We now use the buckle. We now tighten the buckle to hold my leg. So if you see the papa dash me I was wearing, oh my goodness. But well, the wedding gown covered it, so I did not bother. My mind was that by 2 o'clock or by 4 o'clock, wedding will finish. I was willing to wear slippers because I was wearing one white slippers. They told me, I said, but my gown is covering the slipper. They won't see, they say it's a lie. That was how I wore that sandal. So before even people arrived, me have arrived at the wedding. I was waiting for people to arrive. Let's do quick. We did the wedding, arrived at the venue. As people were coming, me too, I was coming. As they were doing, oh wow, nice decoration. Me too, I was in, oh wow, these people, they did well. That's the reception, right? I entered the wedding, I sat down. You won't believe it, but I was just busy talking and gisting. I saw people moving up and down. People, you know, things were happening. I'm wondering all of these persons. I think my brother has helped me to invite me. I didn't have anybody to invite, all right? And after some time, it wasn't long. My wedding was not like that. And I said to Pastor, this one people are moving up. It's like people are approaching me. And I said, yes, as they are coming like this. When they come, when they give you their gift, you give them souvenir. I said, is that how they used to do it? And so people come and give, they give me too. I take some. I said, like, are we done? We are finished like this. And I said, we are finished. So I took a smile. So I'm like, so this thing is quick. We are done. What happened? All of the many things that happened, I did not know. I know I sat down there and then we were busy gisting because I've never really been a party or wedding person. So I didn't really see any fuss, any thing that was so special about the wedding. I sat down there, like that. People were giving me gifts. I was giving them my souvenir. Wedding has finished. People now say, like, oh, bye. Oh, thank you for coming. Oh, bye. You know, of course, you church people came. They brought us TV and gave us a Samsung fridge. And then we danced. They were throwing pastor up like that. When they finished, we were all dancing. People left. I removed my big size sandals and wore slippers and was walking up and I'm like, wedding has finished though. Wedding has finished. People left.
Let me show you how bad it was. Now we didn't have a car again because that car was beyond repair and we forgot about it. Now we didn't have car for wedding. Me and my best match, it looks like we use this 190 to come. So we had to borrow car from her friend, who is our friend now, Mr. Christian Elega. He had this discussion continuous on that.
Yes, Honda, yes.
Gold color. So, but he was going to travel because he was very busy. So he used his car, brought her to church. After church, took her to reception. During the reception, wedding motor had gone.
He was on the way traveling, so he agreed to on his way traveling.
Yes. Just do it
He
too
came,
for us.
carried me, finished wedding, carried me, dropped my reception, and then
So we
traveled.
didn't have car to go home. The wedding went very well. The only,
There was
my only
food.
cry was that my pastor didn't wear those PCJ because he had it transferred.
Yeah, it is transferred.
Couldn't come, but Reverend Ben was amazing. And it was on the wedding day my father finally released me
On the wedding day,
to Dominion
yes.
City.
Yes.
Since 2009, 3 years. And I said, I've seen what the church has done for in his life. Is this, that. When he came to speak as a bishop, I now release him to you people officially, and finally, Dominion City can now have him and all, you know. So, wedding went well, reception was over, my mother handled the food, they cooked, there was food, people ate, we had guests.
And that 150,000 that was given to us,
The last by the uncle, the night before,
we had not even used it
was
at
not
all.
touched.
And that was how we got married,
And
got
went
to the
home.
house. We didn't have a chair. We didn't have like wood for the bed. The mattress was still on the floor. There was nothing else except the TV and the fridge that
And
the
they gave
church
to us.
dashed us. And this mango told me that he wanted to buy PS2.
No. We had agreed on what to
Hey
buy.
God.
No, don't forget-
Hey, they
don't
want to
forget
lie on
that
top of my head now.
That week, listen, I don't forget that one. That week, we now decided, okay, what are we going to buy? We wrote down rug, don't forget, rug for the parlor and the dining, not just for the parlor, yes, for parlor, rug, generator.
Small generator now.
No, we bought 5.something kVA.
No, a small generator.
Yeah.
A small generator.
So rug, generator, tabletop gas, curtains, good curtains now. You know, when we now finish writing all those things,
We did not have chair in the
sound
parlor.
system. Yeah, we didn't
Small
have chair.
LG DVD.
After we wrote those things, I now said, I want to buy a game because a good deal came up. Someone came from Korea or somewhere with PS3 at that time, just used it for holiday around that period. I wanted to go back. I wanted to sell it. I mean, I love games. I told her, why am I buying all this for the house? I want to buy one for me. I have to have game inside. And I thought I agreed. So, watch something. We got married on Saturday. We got back home on Sunday evening. Between Monday and Wednesday, we were fixing our house. Many other persons get married, and in 2 months they are paying debt because they went overboard. They wanted
To
do what
impress
they could
people
not
who
do.
don't care.
To impress people who will even leave, who will stay in your reception for 1-2 hours and go to another reception to go and collect better souvenir. You know, and that was how our house became better just 1 week after we got home after, you know, married. It was a beautiful occasion. Not all these money, but it was good. We had money. We had a lot of things to do, and people were eating and they were fine. And
After 1 week,
it was a beautiful job.
After 1 week, I went back to work. So that's how the wedding went. In our next episode, we are going to tell you our journey to becoming parents, the struggle to have a child.
It wasn't easy.
Oh, it wasn't easy. We struggled though. We struggled. We'll tell you what we went through, what our marriage life was, the struggles we had, the challenges we had. I mean, I was working earning more money than him. I was practically richer than him.
Yeah.
The kind of issues, you know, having a wife who is richer and a man who is struggling, the issues we had, and then childbirth issues. And of course, I tried to get pregnant once and then nearly died in the pregnancy. We'll talk about our journey to parenthood and how the marriage went. That is what we'll be talking about in the next episode. Thank you very much, everyone. Yes.
Now let me say something. Please, it's going to be you are getting value. I can tell you. Don't forget to share to all your broadcast lists, to Facebook, every single person you know.
Please.
And if you don't, so you see, you celebrate 10 years. But I try to show you that that thing you are going through now, or you think you are going through in your marriage or your relationship, we've gone through it. So you can see all the steps you are taking. So don't just laugh. Take this thing and start practicing it, and it will be awesome for you.
So please, like I said, please share. The reason I ask you to share this video is because whenever you share the video, all right, I get more recommendations from YouTube. The more people share my videos, the more YouTube recommends this video to people. I really hope that this video gets to quite a lot of persons. So please, do like, comment, and share. Please, it's important to me. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with us. See you on the next episode. Mwah,
Bye.
mwah, mwah.
See you.
Bye.